Yo, what up, peoples? My name is Louis Lee from All Ins Media, and this is Playing in Traffic. I do this every Thursday night with a whole bunch of friends and family. So, sorry, my cat's running through here. So yeah, we have special guests come on every couple weeks. So this week we're just hanging out with the fellas. Hey Jim, how's it going? And we get a couple people in on the chat, and we can start the show. And we do this every Thursday night. We're live on YouTube. You can go check out our YouTube channel at the Plan and Traffic Show. And please like and share. You got Kathy John going in his belly. What's going
on? Not much. Hold on a second.
You're in the shop, huh?
Yeah. So what's going on?
Oh man, just trying to get my house together. Still unpacking boxes and fixing toilets and that good stuff.
Yeah.
Homeowner stuff. Hold on, I gotta get rid of my cat here. Say hi.
Cool.
All right, now go play.
Got a bunch of deliveries today.
Did you? What'd you get? Anything good?
Parts for the Camaro.
Sweet.
$2,300 set of custom headers from Lemons.
Really?
Yeah, nice. And they're coated. I'll have to go grab one. They're aluminum coated, I guess. So jet hot coated. They kind of look like chrome.
Really?
And he built me the set. It's all individual pieces. So it's real easy to put in with the engine in there because they're big pipes, on that big motor. So hold on, let me go grab one.
Ooh. Sorry, people, my cat's acting up. I'm in the living room, so I'm not in my studio like I usually would be. How you doing, Lee? Brian? Papa Squirrel? Al? The usual fellas? We got my psycho cat here messing with me.
Cool looking, huh?
Yeah, man. Look how big they are. Thing's a beast.
Yeah. Well, it's 800 horse motor, 632 inches. Got to breathe.
Yeah. So what motor is it?
It's a Chevy 632.
Wow, that thing's gonna run, huh?
Yeah. So it's got the tabs on it. This part slides into the collector.
Oh yeah.
So it's all individual, 3/8 flange. Really nice stuff. And look how smooth that entrance is.
Yeah. What company made those?
Lemons Headers in California. He said
they were
custom headers.
$2,500, huh?
Yeah. But I've used them before.
Yeah.
When we had the shop up in New York, and you call them up and you give him a couple of pieces of information, and he sends you a set of headers, and they go right in. And they're custom made. Well, TIG welded, the whole deal. I mean, they do a nice job. Like, here, look at a weld on the flange.
Yeah, man, that's sweet.
Yeah. So it's good stuff. It's like so shiny. I can't believe it,
And you said it was coated?
Yeah, they're jet hot coated. It's a type of protective coating. They like flame spray or something.
Really?
Or they spray it and bake it, almost like powder coating, but it's high temp. And
so they probably won't blue.
We got these really cool V-band collectors.
Cut up. Oh, okay.
With the O2 sensor part in them. I got two of these, and they use this V-band clamp.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having the old school where you had like 3 bolts or 4 bolts to disconnect the flange from the header,
yeah,
You just loosen this special like aircraft V-band clamp, and it drops right out.
Man, technology's getting
Nice
crazy,
seal,
right?
huh? Yeah. It's pretty cool. And the back of the collector is made to fit, into this. There's no gasket on a V-band.
Oh,
It's metal to metal, but it squeezes it and it makes it
airtight.
tight. Yeah. So it's cool. And the good thing is then you can clock this wherever it needs to be, to clear under the floor for your O2 sensor.
Yeah.
And a little tech tip: never mount an O2 sensor below 3 or 9.
Oh yeah.
The moisture in the exhaust system destroys the O2 sensor. Ray would know that.
Absolutely. Good tip.
See, that would have been something.
Tech tip Thursday.
Yeah.
Hey, that would have been something that I ran into because I sure enough would have put it upside down.
Oh yeah. A lot of people do that. They'll put
They
it,
do.
like low. Well, let's see. Let's turn it around this way. They'll put it like that because it fits better.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the thing lasts about 3 or 4 months. Especially like like up north. You get those days where you fire it up and you got all of that vapor coming out of your exhaust.
Yeah.
Not good for O2 sensors at all.
It's either that or you rip it off on like the first driveway apron or something, with like a low.
Yep. Also, can an O2 sensor go bad with like if you got a really rich condition and you get a little unburnt gas through there?
They can get poisoned, yeah. Coolant is really bad. If you have a coolant leak, like a head leak, it'll wipe it right out. That's why I say, I tell people a lot of times when they're looking at doing stuff like this hot rod stuff, I say, look what the manufacturers did. Look what they do in a production car. They did it for a reason.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that you gotta, you gotta build a production car, but things like that, like placement of an O2 sensor. There's there's an engineer who came up with that rationale.
Yeah, exactly. So I got a really nice billet aluminum black anodized Willwood master cylinder.
Yeah.
Have you seen those, Ray?
I'm running one in my car now. I don't know if it's
you got the kind with the flat cap,
flat top, all black.
Yeah, flat top, all black. Yeah. It's beautiful.
In fact, the
I
guy
was just looking at those.
I had a guy make.
And it's got like 4 screws that hold the cap down.
That's the problem. And there's a guy that had made me a gauge rack for under my dash.
Mm-hmm.
He's a machinist. I said, listen, I want to come up with a system to make almost like a hidden mount, so I could use like one screw on this Willwood cap. He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, everybody complains about, like, if you have to take it on and off for service, there's 4 little fucking Allen screws. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't think I'll be.
I actually I made the engineering drawings.
Once I get the brakes bled and I send this thing back to Pennsylvania, I ain't taking it off ever.
No, you wouldn't. But I actually made the drawings to scale, and I sent that to him. We started on the project and then never finished it. So,
you know what? I got a question. I didn't read any instructions yet. Did you notice when you opened yours up, there's 2 little black plastic things sitting over the intake holes?
Well, there's usually caps to keep crud out. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. No, they're up off the. Hold on, let me go get it.
Yeah, I have to see that. I put mine in mine years ago. I don't know.
I was just looking at those, and a guy at one of the shows here had one, but he didn't have any. He didn't have a master cylinder, a power booster. He just had the master cylinder.
That's how I'm running mine.
Okay.
Exactly how I'm running mine. I wanted that clean look.
Yeah.
Except now you got like a freaking heavy foot pedal. Yeah, I'm thinking about I may put the booster back in.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, it does look real smooth under the hood, but
yeah,
I gotta have power brakes, man.
Right.
I'm getting a power brake booster for this car. I'm waiting to put the engine in first.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy I spoke to in California, because they could do like custom finishes and stuff, and they make a lot of different kinds of boosters.
Mm-hmm.
He told me, wait till you get the motor in the car and then give me a dimension from the shaft to the valve cover or whatever it's going to hit first.
Yeah.
And they'll give me as large a booster as we can put in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
When I spoke to Willwood, they said don't use anything smaller than an 8.
Yeah.
This is an 1 1/8 master on both sides.
Yeah, I think mine's 1.125", and that's got ports on both sides, right?
Yes.
That's what I liked about it. I ran one line off of one and one line off the other side. Yeah, you just plug the ones you don't use.
Well, I bought there's a mount that goes with this that holds their proportioning valve.
Yeah, I like that. I don't have that.
So I got that whole setup. It comes with pre-bent tubing.
Like that. Yes,
with the mount, the whole deal. It's really nice. What I was talking about is in here. This thing's heavy.
Yeah, it is. It is
real stuff.
Yeah, it's got a nice rubber membrane.
Yep.
See these two caps in here?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They stay in there?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. That's because I didn't design it. I just use it.
Hey, it works, right?
Yeah, there's like a little, there's like a little cutout for it.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, I think this thing would wind up popping out.
It may be. Well, mine's been in the car for a couple of years and it hasn't popped out. It may be for like fluid flow, maybe like the old stub stack that they used to use on the carburetors. Maybe it helps the fluid. I don't know. I don't know. I'm stabbing here, man. I don't know. Brian,
it doesn't fit really. It doesn't fit in there really tight.
Yeah.
And I know you've seen it. There's been times when I've been working with a master cylinder open and you push the pedal down.
Oh yeah.
And then you get like a backflow.
Yeah. I think
that backflow would blow that cap right off.
I put a little video like that up on Instagram a while ago. Yeah.
Huh.
So. Yeah, well, I know they're in mine and they've been there.
And they're marked. They tell you which way that has to point forward too.
Yeah, I left mine and that was it. So
you know what? Google it.
No, I'll just call
Willwood. Yeah.
Go, what is this?
You want to know something wild? There was a guy.
I'm sure it's in the instruction sheet, but I just got the stuff today and I've been busy and I haven't looked at anything.
What did that unit cost?
Oh God, don't even ask me. I don't remember.
I could start looking through this.
Do you have the catalog yet, Ray?
It wasn't a crazy amount of money.
Which catalog, Brian?
For the brakes. Well, I'm looking for my paper book right now.
So I'm looking right now because
that's the history of the GTO, though,
got
right?
Ray Bestos master cylinder because I was thinking about changing to that one.
That's like the one I had. I had on my car. It was from a Corvette.
That's the one. This is this is actually a 72 Camaro big block non-power brake.
I had non-power brake Corvette. Disc front and back, 1.125" pistons.
It actually may be in the. I may have it in a different folder. But I think I have I do have a Willwood folder somewhere.
Yeah.
I know. I think I have.
I knew I needed a big master on the Trans Am because they're still on there today. Those stock gigantic single piston.
Oh yeah,
caliper.
the D52. Yeah.
It takes a ton of fluid to move that thing. So when I went to discs in the back, when I narrowed the rear, I called Willwood and I said, "What do I do?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, just get a Corvette Master."
Now what I did, I'm using I bought for my car it's that replacement caliper that Willwood made. They call it a D52, except it's a 2-piston and it's a 4 and it's an aluminum caliper, but it's a direct bolt-on for that GM caliper.
So they actually have an aftermarket replacement for that.
Willwood's caliper, yeah, absolutely.
They didn't have that when I owned the car.
Right. Yeah, stuff changes.
I'm sorry, John. I didn't want you to show off. I want to show off my prehistoric one.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
Oh, you got some poor stuff. Oh, look at that. Yeah, single pop.
This right here is 1966 disc brake master cylinder manual.
Out of here. A single master for discs?
Yeah, that's
scary.
Yeah.
Look how big it is.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about it. The manufacturers, they do the research.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if it worked back then, it worked. Wow. Look at that people.
Hold a whole gallon of fluid.
I know. So everybody's going, when I come up there with my, 1,000,000 horsepowers and they open it up and see a little single, they know that I live on the edge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, brother.
Just tell them you get a parachute.
That's it. No, I'll just say, hey, I'm married with children. I don't care.
That's nice. Damn, it must be
So dual parachutes.
So what else you get? I know you got some more parts.
Oh. Yeah, let me go rummaging. Hold on. I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to what that guy does that owns that Camaro. Man, he's putting some cheese in.
Put some money in that, man.
Yeah, that's
There
for
you
sure. That's for sure. Oh man.
My garage is full of boxes, so I can't even start on any projects.
Right.
I got my bathroom about done. I have to put the floor in, and
All right.
then I'm going to move to the kitchen.
Yeah, that's the new house regimen, right?
Well, I fell into a rabbit hole. I didn't have to do this. I could have just cleaned everything and moved in.
Oh,
So
sure.
I was like, well, let me, and that's where it starts.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I blew a wall out in the kitchen.
Oh,
So
wow.
now I gotta do it now. The wall's gone.
Wow, once you start, man, that's it. Once you start it.
So I have an interior that I'm doing for Tyler. He was on the show from the Dukes. What was the name of the thing? He works with the guy that does the reenactment of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Right.
Oh,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm doing his seats for his GTO. No, not his GTO. He has a
Yes.
G6 or G9. Wait, what is it? G8.
G8.
Yeah, it's all
All right.
hopped up.
John, what's the part number for that?
Jesus. Was that the brake boost? I mean, the
That's the proportioning valve. The
proportioning
Yeah.
valve.
Oh,
with
it's
the,
260
Uh-huh.
dash 11179.
Okay.
Combo knob type proportioning valve. And the cool part is comes with a brake light switch in the back.
Yeah, nice.
So you don't have to
yeah.
deal with the brake light switch inside the car or off the pedal mount or something. You can just hook it up right there.
The only thing, just beware. The only thing I've been reading a lot about this. There's been a lot of failures on brake light switches across the board from all manufacturers.
Listen, I just had one go bad in the truck.
But this place, my favorite, Ron Francis sells one that they claim will not leak. So keep your eye on that valve.
Yeah.
Listen, I couldn't get my truck into gear last week.
Really?
I kept hitting the brake, and then it would go in gear. So I'm like, man, I just bought this truck. I'm pissed, right? I'm calling the dealer. Like, hey,
Sure.
I was like, what's going on, man? This truck won't go into gear. He goes, well, maybe it's the brake light switch going bad. So I go up under the dash, and you can't believe how easy it was to change. I changed the switch in 30 seconds. I reached in, turned it, put the new one in. I was like, wow.
The one on the pedal is just a mechanical mount, right?
You just turn it and it pops out.
That's how I remember. I was going to put a hydraulic switch in, but after reading about all these problems and failures, I said, you know what? I just teed into the mechanical one for the third brake light.
Yeah.
Write this one down. 220.
Wait a minute. God damn it.
Yeah, I was really excited how easy it was to change, man. I was like, wow, this is the easiest thing I've ever changed.
And you got to adjust it too. 220.
Dash 14247.
14247. And what's that?
That's your combo valve bracket and
the bracket.
plumbing kit. See, it comes with. It's hard to see through the plastic. See, it's got a couple of pre-bent tubes.
Lines. Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
and it also has a. Where is it? Right here. There's like a little. It's like a cup that goes on the end of your push rod. Protects the inside of the master.
Oh, cool.
So it's a sleeve.
Yeah.
That goes on your push rod.
I got a. You have the new one. I got a letter. I'm gonna say it's probably 2 summers ago now. It's in the garage. They recalled the master cylinder. They had an issue with it. They said some of them fail, so we're recalling all of them. We'll send it back. I never did. Mine's still okay.
Urethane transmission mount.
I live on the edge, Brian. I live on the edge. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm using a poly mount too. Yeah.
But Ray,
TCI.
Yeah.
the most important question is: do you eat your vegetables?
I do.
You're
Yeah.
okay.
I do.
I want to
You
get that.
gotta eat the
coronavirus.
veggies.
I like my
That's-
veggies too.
That's been moved to one of my 5 questions when I interview somebody.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. I get a new guy on the truck, and I'm like, "You got your driver's license? You got your name? Go through everything." And
Yeah.
I go, "Do you eat your veggies?" And they all look at me like, "What the hell is wrong with this guy?"
Messing around with Lewis.
Yeah. That's funny.
ARP flywheel bolts.
Best stuff. Best hardware in the world, man.
Yeah, ARP header bolts.
Yeah.
These are cool.
Hey
'cause they got
John,
that small head.
what does this guy that owns the Camaro? What does he do?
Owns a body shop.
He's doing insurance body work.
Earl's flex hoses.
Yeah, he's got the insurance company.
Yeah.
You know what? This is probably, I'm just reading what they say here about this switch. This is probably why there was a lot of failures. Their switch, it's a low pressure switch, only requires 20 to 50 pounds of pressure to make it come on, as opposed to 60 to 120 that the stock switch needs. So just with a touch of the pedal, that light is coming on.
Mhm.
So
Well, once I get the wiring harness, I'll make a decision if I'm using that or not. That switch.
it's so easy though. It's right there.
Who's doing the wiring harness?
What's our guy? What's his name there? Damn, forget his name. I got him on my list. The guy we saw at SEMA. He was on the show.
Yeah, what's his name?
He took us for a tour of his place where he had the boards where they run all the wires.
Yeah. I can't think of his
That
name.
American Auto Wire, I think. I'm not sure.
I
have
gotta
it on my
ask.
list though.
I gotta ask, with the car in that condition, how come you're not running it?
Oh, I'm not. What are you kidding me?
Yeah, no.
No.
That's a whole different beast.
It's a
I'll
bad
put
car,
it
man.
in. I'm not building it.
Which harness is it? Whose harness did you buy?
Well, I didn't buy the harness yet.
Okay, all right. So he's going to supply it and install it.
Yeah, I'm going to go to him and he's going to build me the harness
All right.
for this car, along with the options that I'm putting in: the AC, the electric fuel pump for the fuel injection system. So he'll change some of the pigtails based on the things that I'm adding, and then I need to have in the fuse box. I got to have places to make all that stuff work.
Well, the AC is going to have its own harness. It comes that kit comes with its own.
I have. Oh my God!
Beautiful.
I opened up the box with that air conditioning stuff. That's like a week's worth of work.
It's like a 4-foot box.
Yeah,
I know.
2 of them because you got the condenser for the front.
It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, totally huge.
It's a big
And
box.
also, I noticed that it's from Vintage Air.
Right.
They give you the lines with one side crimped already,
Yes.
but they're not. I need extra long.
They sent me extra long.
I want to hide this stuff.
Yeah, I have enough to run through the fender, like around between the fender and the fender. Plenty. I got plenty.
I haven't actually measured yet, but to me, they don't look like they're long enough to do what I want.
You just got to crimp the one end on the one end, the compressor.
Well, I don't have that crimper.
Neither
you know
do
what?
I.
If I was in the old shop, they have that crimper.
Yeah, I don't have it either. So I got to get that done.
As a matter of fact, the guy that was living on the property there.
Too bad. There's nobody here that can get you that crimper.
Yeah, well, that's like a.
I know a good guy.
Like in
Oh,
my
you
case,
actually have that crimper?
Huh?
You actually have that?
Master Cool makes it.
yeah.
I've sold tons of them to
Is it a hydraulic kind of thing, or
you can get the hydraulic or the hand one.
yeah? Well, it's good to know.
Yeah.
I may change the hoses totally because they give you those rubber hoses.
Right.
I've seen them. I want the hoses that look like the fuel line that have that
Braided.
The braided,
black
yeah.
braid.
You could put a nylon over it. You could put the nylon braid over it if you wanted to cover it.
Yeah, but I would rather just have the hose.
All you gotta do is look up Master Cool, and they have all those tools. You tell me what tool you want.
Okay.
I've gotten those hydraulics, and. If you It comes in two
Oh.
sets. You can buy just the dies, or you can buy the whole kit.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Sometimes, like the one guy that I sold, he just told me the two dies that he needed. He needed the 1/2 inch and 3/4. Is that what it was? I can't remember what.
This is a big one. This is a big end.
Yeah, it's big.
I can't. 1 inch. I think it was 1 inch and 3/4 or 1 inch and something.
My first thought was to buy it, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to use it once."
Yeah.
And
Well,
then funny enough,
for me, I'd use it twice. Once on his car, once on the Trans Am.
and now, funny enough, a guy just called me last week that I know, and he's building a C10, and he asked me about. He said he's putting he bought a vintage air kit. He goes, "You want to do the job?" I was like, "Damn, that would have been twice." But
yeah, too bad we're all not neighbors. We can just hand it over the fence.
exactly,
Yeah,
something
right.
like that. That's what you do. You borrow it, you pass it around.
Well, listen,
taking it apart was a pain in the ass. I had to get under the dashboard and get rid of everything.
Oh yeah.
For the first time in my life, I'm like, A, you're too old. B, you're way too fat.
Yeah.
And C, I had to like snake my way back out. I was under the dash with my head against the firewall, messing around with the wrong fasteners that were put in by someone else to take the cardboard glove box out.
Yeah.
In order to get the radio and the heater control unit out. And for the first time in my life, I got claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
That's happened to me. That's happened
And I'm
to
like,
me.
so I had to like worm my way out
Yeah,
and then sit up in the car and reevaluate my life. I'm like, I should be doing this.
As you get older, stuff like that happens, man. I can't ride roller coasters anymore.
Yeah. Well, and you know what I did? I got like I have a little fan, and I put a fan in there. So I had this air blowing on me, and then I was like, no problem.
Okay.
I got everything disconnected. It was great. But it's ridiculous rolling around on a stock steel floor trying to get to everything.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I was talking to my buddy Vinny. He's from Shirley. He's another Camaro race car guy. He says to me the other day, he says, "Hey," because I mentioned your name. I said, he goes, yeah, I remember Chatsky Connection. I know, he knew you back in the day, because he's had his car forever. Another guy that knows you. He goes, "Hey, maybe John will know. Maybe your buddy John will know." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "What happened to Kazali?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What happened?"
Which one?
John, because they lived. My friend Vinny lived only like in town. He goes, "It's like he pulled up the stakes and left. Like everything is gone." Recently, the trailer, everything. He just evacuated the premises.
I got no clue on that one.
I said, "I'll ask John. I don't know."
I know Scott, his cousin. He lives in the Carolinas.
Yeah,
he's the guy that bought one of my cars.
John may be down there too. All right,
could be. Yeah, I didn't know. I have no idea. As a matter of fact, come to think of it, I have not seen John post anything on Facebook in a while.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's been quite a lot of talk. Negative.
He might owe somebody some money.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on that one, but
no,
I have not seen any post.
You really can't speculate.
I mean, he was the guy for Long Island Needs a Drag Strip.
Absolutely, that's right.
Saw him on TV, saw him in print,
and that's it.
Even down here in Florida, I knew that he was doing stuff.
Yeah, Vinny follows the 231 site. He follows. There's a couple sites from the island that he still follows. And
they're bringing back the 231 Street Racers Association jackets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He said, he goes, he just disappeared off of all of those sites. It's like he hasn't posted anything. He's just gone.
All that nostalgia stuff's coming back.
Yeah, well,
the original ones we had were those satin jackets.
Yeah,
black with a silk screen on the back. And it said New York 231 Street Racers Association of New York.
Yeah.
And then later on, they came out with a white one that had a Camaro on it. My friend Tommy, who Vince Aguirre had a shop before he kind of joined up with me for a while. Super Pro Performance. He had a bunch of beautiful embroidered ones, and then I had Chassis Connection ones.
Oh, nice!
And I still have the original artwork on those. I was thinking about maybe bringing the Chassis Connection satin jackets back and getting back into the 80s and the 90s.
That's cool.
When you bring your car out, that's what I would do.
Yeah. I have the thing for the T-shirt. I got a whole bunch of stuff I gotta get going on. I got people
that'd be
want
sweet.
stuff. Everybody wants swag.
Yeah.
Where do I have it?
Hey, I'm going to throw this out real quick. I was talking with Lou, and his YouTube channel needs hits. We got to send everybody that we can send to Garage Insider TV. .com. Well, actually, it's Garage Insider
TV.tv.
Yeah. So that'll take you to the YouTube channel. So if everybody can go there and hit like, share, and get his numbers up, that would be appreciated.
Yeah.
And he's giving me some ideas for my truck to put it in the dirt. That's his thing.
Nice.
That's his thing,
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday.
I got to follow up with him on that rear end we fixed.
He had a plasma.
Right. He had a plasma what?
Oh, he had a plasma cutter. I guess somebody was he calls me up and goes, man, you got to help me out because these guys are using my shit and they don't know how to use my stuff.
Yeah.
And I need to fix their plasma cutter. They got a Matco plasma cutter. What parts do I need?
He had to fix their plasma cutter. Yeah.
So leave his alone.
He goes, I got to get this shit back to them because they're going to tear my shit up.
Yeah.
So I was like, no problem, Lou. This is, I said, actually, basically, I gave them the generic part because all our stuff is, industry standard. So it's, just like you can get it at Robin Air or any welding shop. It's nothing. Right. We're not like the other guys that, label it only ours. So we make it user friendly.
That's good.
But it was just kind of funny. He was like, man, I gotta get this stuff straightened out now.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Hey, what was with those finger spinner things I sent you?
Yeah, those are finger ratchets, and
the hell.
What the hell is right because they're not even in our catalog. They're not even in our catalog.
And I already got a picture of them.
Yeah.
And, I have one of those. It's like a knurled knob.
No,
that's different.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got them on the truck. I've got a set on the truck.
Yeah, the set.
That's pretty cool.
So the number is what? Was it RFRB?
Yeah, I've got a set on the truck. Everybody picks them up. They play with them. They look at them.
Yeah, like
they say that looks really neat, but what does it go to? And I said it's for tight spaces. Oh, okay. Put it back and
they're like hinged in the middle. But I can't. I don't know. I can't imagine how I would use it. It looks really cool, and I guess if
maybe I should send them to you, Ray, and you can try them out.
You may,
How do you get any torque on them when they're so small?
No, I think the idea is if you could get in there with a wrench and break the thing loose, and then use that to get in there and speed. Like picture the back of a cylinder head, like between the head and the firewall, where it's really tight.
Yeah,
something like that. That's what I'm thinking at least.
That's why we move firewalls back.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Usually the motor goes with it.
Yeah, that too. But we always leave a gap.
Yeah, that too.
That's why you have a hole saw.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You get to it.
So I don't know. Maybe that's what I'll do, Ray. I'll send them to you, and you tell me what you used them on, then I can tell people.
I will test them, yeah, man, because it caught my eye, and I said that is really freaking. It's freaking weird and cool at the same time, and I'm just it's one of those things you say, okay, if I buy this, am I going to use it or is it going to sit in the drawer? And it's just it invoked that. So
yeah.
What sizes?
7. No. What was it? 9, 10.
It's metric.
Keep it.
I know. I'm my American snap-on wrenches still didn't come in, bastard.
I was making fun of one of my friends in Canada because he was posting the prices of gas. Oh. They're like in the basement. Gas prices today up in Canada are way low.
It looks like 12.
Like, yeah, but you know, 2 Querent Canucks, you got that like funny metric system.
Yeah, liters. It may be 12 and 14. I can't see the other side of the 12.
Yeah, 13, 15.
No, it's 12 and something. I can't see because of the glare. Then it's 10 and 8, and the small one looks like 7 and maybe 9.
What was that part number again, Ray?
It is RFRB. Ratcheting finger ratchet bastards. I don't know what the hell that means.
Let's see here. Ratcheting finger and
ratcheting finger rat bastard.
Right.
So it's 72 teeth, five
72 teeth.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
Everything is 72 teeth. If it's
five
not 72,
degree arc.
if it's not 72 teeth, John, it's 90.
Not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got 7, 7, 9, 8, 10, 11, 12.
All right.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
72
pretty cool.
teeth is like the minimum now. 60 teeth got blown away. Then it was 66. Matco went to 66. Then it was like 72. Now there's 100. Somebody has 120.
Has 120, yeah.
Call Mr. Matko and tell him I'll take a set if he makes them in American size.
And I watched the guy with 120 tooth ratchet. He put it on a fixture, put a pipe on it, and stood on it to see if he could.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
And it didn't.
Let's see here. It's compact, palm size, makes it perfect, fast, easy, hand movement, confined spaces. There you go, Ray.
There you go.
Solved your problem.
Yeah.
That's our official sell sheet. That's
Right.
how I'm supposed to sell it.
Right.
I tell you what, man, when you get in a spot where you need it, you really need it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, because when you're in there, 4 degrees at a time with a regular wrench, and you're there for like 45 minutes, it gets pretty plain.
Here you go, John.
I can understand
John,
it on a new car.
Ideal tight spaces for like dashboards, door panels, and engine bays.
Exactly. It's what it could have used to take out that air conditioning.
Right.
Heater
Here,
for me.
I'll let's see here. I'll send this to you, Ray.
No metric.
That's the thing. I bought those the ratcheting crow's feet that the extension go in the end or the top off the Snap-on truck, and he had the Americans, and I said, "Cool, I'll take them." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You got the metric set too?" He goes, "No, they all went the metric set. What? Because that's what everybody buys, right?"
Sure.
I said, if this is
that's all they use these days.
Oh yeah. Well, I said if these are as good as I think, I'll take the metric set. It's been like a month and a half. Still doesn't have a metric set on the truck. I'm like, son of a bitch.
He's probably got the same problem everybody else does, and it's tied up in China. So don't worry.
Okay, maybe. That's right. I haven't been on the truck in like 3 weeks anyway. So 2 weeks now.
Jim Listella says he lives off 231 now.
Yeah, he's up there somewhere.
I didn't know there was in New York.
Yeah.
When did he move there?
A while ago. He's been there a while.
I didn't know that. Jim, where on 231?
20 years.
That's a long time. Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Well, how would you know?
Oh, okay. Nichols Road. I know exactly what that is. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, did you watch that video on that chassis, that Carl hot chassis? I sent a messenger.
Oh, yes.
That guy cracks the hell out of me, man.
He's hilarious.
That guy.
That dude was he was one of the funniest guys I've seen.
Man, I love when he starts out. Every video starts out. He goes, "Let's fill the float bowls," and he pours out a rum and coke. And he's like, and he takes the hit, and he's like, "Okay, the bowls are full. Let me start." And man, this guy goes off the edge, man.
Dude, he just wings it.
Wow.
And it's so funny.
Did I send you the one when he built the canister for the gas mask for? Did you see the one where he took a fresh air tank from I guess a dirt car, and he made his own mask for the virus.
No,
And
I didn't see that one.
when he cleaned the filter he was wearing it, and he cleans the edge down with brake clean. So he had all the fumes going. He like fell over. I mean, he like passed out. I mean, I don't know if anybody ever found him on the floor, but I mean, the guy is out there in left field. It was unbelievable. Did you get it, Ray?
Yeah, got it.
So, but that guy is a trip, man.
That's funny.
I'm not much of a dirt track race guy, but that guy is out there.
That's funny. See what's going on in the chat room.
Man, they closed everything down today.
Yeah, they're Ohio, they closed all the schools for.
Got a notification from NHRA. Gator Nationals is canceled.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, you guys are shitting me.
One of the guys, actually, Antron still went on the tool truck ride with one of the guys down there in the Gators Nationals. He went out for the day on the truck.
Nice.
But that guy, he had started. A friend of mine, he's down in Daytona area. He runs the Daytona area, and all that stuff's crazy. We had to go get Molly. Jenny had to run up and pick Molly up. Wednesday night they closed Towson University down.
Wow.
And it's just a cluster.
Yeah.
So,
hey Brian, when you guys get trade-in toolboxes, what do you do with them? Do you send them somewhere?
I sell them.
Oh yeah, it's resold all the time.
I mean, it's resell. I mean, I just resell them.
Yeah.
I mean,
decals and all.
Yeah, well, actually,
calendars.
You'll be really upset. I had I don't know, 8 or 9 of them underneath the deck of the backyard, and I called a buddy and told him just come get them all.
Wow,
really?
really?
I got tired of them sitting in,
Next time that happens, make a couple other phone calls.
Yeah.
We'll take a trip, man.
I wasn't even. Well, this was, I don't know. It was like a year ago. Not even a year ago. I don't know, a year ago. But I tell you, I didn't even really think about it. I mean, they were all smaller, but they would have been great for. I mean, they're not big boxes.
It's like we talked about, and Lewis, this is a problem that I have that Brian knows about it. The toolboxes I have are great toolboxes. They're fine, but I bought them in the 80s, and now toolboxes have changed. New tools don't fit in the drawers of an old toolbox because if you want to keep like the plastic tray that the tools come in, like the wrenches, the organizers, or even the new organizational systems, you need deeper drawers, and older toolboxes have narrower drawers. So,
and now they have drawers that open all the way.
Oh yeah, there's crazy stuff.
My toolbox, my Mac toolbox is not that deep.
See, I mean, they come in cases like this.
Oh, that too, the blow mold cases,
And the blow mold cases, and they take so much. And then even if you went into, it's hard. I mean, this is the old days.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I
now,
feel pockets.
this is the old days.
That's what I got too.
Yeah.
I'll be fine with that.
Right.
I got a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
They were metal and they're riveted to the drawer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, I have 3 of every tool.
Pop off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every tool that I have 3 of them because I never can find it because I don't have a toolbox.
So
I had to go buy another one. So I got 3 of everything.
John, it was about 2 years ago. I went to the other shop and I saw this.
That's a terrible problem.
It's a body shop. And I'm looking I see this plastic container with all the sockets in it. It's stuck on the wall. I'm like, who the hell glued the sockets to the wall? And like, no, it's magnetic. The wall.
I have one of those.
Well, this is the first time I saw it. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So you can stick it to the fender. You can stick it under the car. I mean,
I actually have 2 of those. One for real small stuff like 1/4-inch drive, and one for 3/8 up to like 3/4 inch diameter, and it's plastic. It's like day glow, and it's got a big magnet on the bottom of it. And when you pull out my socket drawer, it's stuck to the side of the socket drawer.
Yeah. Well, the funny
and
thing
then I have those rows of all the sockets. In the back is all the 1/2-inch drive, deep 1/2-inch drive, short, and then 3/8. The same thing. I got all of that.
Because I bought a couple of new socket sets that came with those. And I told you, I said, these holders are great. I want to convert my older ones to them.
Yeah.
Said, I got a couple. He gave me a couple of spares, some blanks. I'm like, how do you have extras of these? He goes, a lot of guys don't want them. They take the sockets and they put them on. There's another thing. It's like a porcupine rail where the sockets just fit over.
Hold on.
And then the size is up on top, so you can see the size. And because a lot of guys use that, so they don't want the magnetic one. So I've been bringing those up.
I tell you, we have an awesome system for tool storage, and it's called the Tool Grid, and you can bring it up on YouTube and whatever. and it's a board, and they have little pegs, and you can
Yes, there you
set
go,
it up.
John. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. A lot of guys
and
use
if
that.
you have the time,
I
it
was
is the most awesome thing to put your toolbox together with.
Right.
And the only thing that we started going with is now these foam.
Yep.
And we started with these. We have our screwdrivers, wrenches,
Yep.
Sockets, our ratchets come in this, and this takes up so much space.
That's
on a
the
box.
problem. You need
And that's
bigger
the problem.
drawers now, and that's
Yeah.
I don't have that. So
yeah. You need deep, real deep drawers.
yeah, and
Yeah.
wider, the whole bit.
I was walking around Northern Tool and they had a display that had like 15 different kinds of these things.
Yeah.
It's from a company called Hanson.
Right.
Yeah.
Hanson socket tray.
If you like here, see, I'm in the middle of doing one of my boxes now, and see, this is all for the tool grid.
Yeah. Okay.
And they have cups for everything, and they screw down and the
Right.
sockets
See what
and
you
the
started,
wrenches.
Lewis?
Huh?
I said, see what you started, Lewis?
See, my wife keeps hollering at me. She goes, "Go buy a toolbox." I'm just cheap, man.
Cheap?
You know what I
Come
mean?
on, man. If you're you eat vegetables, I can hook you up.
They'll hook you up with some stuff. Or go on Facebook Marketplace. There's a bazillion of them.
Yeah.
Literally around the corner from where you live.
Yep.
Unfortunately, and it's a sad thing, but I get phone calls all day long from a wife that her husband had died, and they're like, "You got to get rid of this toolbox."
Wow.
I don't know what to do with it. I don't have any place to put it. I just don't have I don't have a place to store them all.
Sure.
But you can normally get a great deal on a box with tools, and it's sad, but unfortunately that's the problem. They can't move that. It's hard to move.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's hard to move that stuff.
Yeah, I need to just stop being cheap. Hey, we got Mrs. Parisi in the house.
Hey, very good.
Dana.
What's up, Miss D?
Nice.
Well, hey, I have to jump out. I had to go to bed because I'm sleepy. But
right.
Let's see. Let's get Miss D in. You want to jump in? Is
That's
your hair
what I was
done?
going to ask you. Lewis, I was going to ask you that last week because when you left, it was already too late. I sent you a text. You were probably sleeping. I want to get Brian and John back in. Is there a way to do a dual? You got the helm. There's no way to share that, huh?
No, because I checked into that because I was going to.
You would have.
Yeah, and this system won't let me. I did check into that.
And I was actually thinking if I log out and then try and log in as you, maybe then I can do it. I said no, but then if he's still logged in, then I can't do it. Then I'm like, forget it.
No, that's the way to do it. When I log out, you can log in as me and run it.
All right.
But the problem is, last week my computer died. It just cut off.
Yeah, you did have your battery. Yeah, you had no power.
That happened to me. I wasn't plugged in.
Right. That was a couple weeks ago. That happened.
2 weeks ago, it just went dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Funny
Mid
stuff.
sentence.
Oh, then you had these. These are what I was looking for. This is another good one.
Oh, those I haven't seen.
It's got a magnetic base.
That's like the one I have.
Yeah, these are really popular.
Yeah,
these are really good
Mhm.
because this would be like your deep sockets, and you can set them up. Blue, metric, red. They had the other colors. They have red, green, orange, yellow, purple.
Right.
And then you can put your sockets in there. And of course, if you're going someplace to work, then you can just pull this all up. And then, like I said, it literally can stick on the lift or in your cart.
I started doing that, taking them out of my box and then walking over to the car and just bang, stick it on the radiator support.
That's what I did. I put it up on the cowl.
Yeah, it's so
Works good.
easy. Yeah.
So that's like for example. So.
Right.
All right, in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna have a toolbox. I'm gonna buckle down and get one.
There you go.
I got tools everywhere. I got tools in the fireplace and the sink.
I made that mistake when I was in my third year in business. I thought about going back turning wrenches, and I said, you know what, I want to clean out my box, put it on the truck, and if I sell the toolbox, at the end of the month or whatever, I'm just going to do this, or I'm going to go back turning wrenches. So I laid, got my box on there. Sure enough, and I wasn't cheap about it. I was like, this is the price, no matter what.
Mhm.
And I don't know, 4 or 5 days later, shop owner walks out and goes, "Man, that's an old box. I had that box how much you want for it?" I said, $5,800. He goes, "No problem." Writes me a check, and that was
Nice. So wait a minute.
So
Back up. When you cleaned out the box, where did you put all the tools?
okay, well, I have in the garage. I have a transmission table. Okay. And so I went up to the 7-Eleven and the grocery store, and I took the milk carton bins, the plastic ones,
Yeah.
and laid a piece of wood in there, and I laid like all my sockets in one and all my wrenches in one, and I just set it on top of the transmission table. I figure it's just me. How messy can it get?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So
and the other was, and I won't need to work on this bench. So
right. Well, it's not like I'm doing a little bit of work, but it can't be that bad. Well, about 4 months later, I had tools everywhere, man. I mean, yeah, you couldn't. I mean, they're out in the shed. The kids are grabbing them. The wife would grab. I mean, there was just stuff everywhere.
That's me.
So I think it was my I was like 2 years had gone by. So 7th year in Matco, when I went to Expo, I won a toolbox.
oh,
And I asked them, I said, it was a 5 Series box, which is a medium of the line. And I said, is there any way I could get a 6 Series?
upgrade, yeah.
I want a 6 Series 31-inch. And they said, you just got to pay the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the start of that, because then I said, everybody says, "Oh man, you're going to make cake. You're going to sell this box." I said, "Man, this is going to be my box." I'm like, Lewis, too cheap. I won one, so
Yeah.
The tool guy wins a toolbox. Right?
yeah. So I got
cool.
the toolbox, and I ordered what I wanted, had it come home, and I ended up putting my tools in there. And it was kind of,
It's just some things that you don't want to spend money on, like windshield wipers, car batteries, and a toolbox. I just don't want to spend the money on it.
Before I had my real toolboxes, I had Craftsman boxes like everybody else. And I said, I'm looking at the price of the Snap-on toolboxes. And I said, damn, before I spend that kind of money on a toolbox, I'd rather spend that money on more tools.
Right.
No. And of course, the guy makes me a super duper deal that you couldn't pass up. And
right.
I bring the toolbox.
Of course, the 6 Series boxes for the older guy. This is his last box. We have all these options. You could do what like I said. So, but the funny part was, I don't know, about 3 years later, I had one of my customers stop by, and he's like, "Man, that's a really beautiful box." And I said, "For this price, it could be yours." So then I ended up unloading that box and I did the same thing all over again.
I was using a Craftsman box.
So then I said, well, I'm just going to keep the trade-ins, keep a couple of the trade-ins. Yeah. And like I said, I know I'm not the neatest guy, but I couldn't stand the different size boxes, together. Yeah. So I've over the rest of the time, I just went from one end of the wall to the other end. It's 28 feet. And I just laid down 6 boxes.
6 bottoms? You got to be kidding me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, must be nice.
One thing I watched Matco Michael demonstrating just last week, that now Matco, what they're doing is they're taking like a white box and then there may be a purple box, but they're taking the white drawers out of the white box and putting them in the purple box, and the purple drawers in the white box.
Yeah.
So, and he illustrated that how like there's some really popular color combinations like sports.
We started doing that, Ray, in our district. Okay. When we have a district meeting, we'll get together and we'll say, okay, guys, they have a deal on 4 series or 5 series or whatever series box, and we'll say, okay, in the district, let's buy 4 boxes and do 3 color changes or whatever, and we would swap out the drawers and do that.
Yeah.
And we started doing that, and then it was always available on a 6 series box.
Mm-hmm.
So on a 6 series box, you could always do that if you wanted. Mako took that. They didn't want to do it on the smaller boxes because they wanted you to upgrade into a bigger box each time. So when they found out that we were doing it, they started making it now where they, and they also new trim, because a lot of guys were taking the trims for the drawers and getting them carbon fibered.
Oh, wow.
So now Mako was like, well, wait a minute, you can do that. We'll do that now, because of course they want to charge you. They see what we're doing and they want to jump in on the.
I got to say, I got this new crazy fetish of mine that I don't know why I even like it, but I'm seeing these white toolboxes and white roll carts and white drum sets, and I'm like, wow, they look really, really cool. And I don't know why. Like, last thing in the world they had one is a white toolbox. I mean,
I've sold 3 or 4 of the white toolbox. I've sold 4 of them.
Very nice.
I tell you, man, when you walk into that shop, that is like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
How do you keep them nice?
Well, you don't put your paws on it first, I guess. You got to keep your hands off. And I think, too, like my own toolbox, I mean, it gets dirty once in a while. You wipe it down. You don't really grab it with a greasy.
And if we also, like in our boxes, what did you have done to your truck? What is that, Teflon, or what is that coated called?
Oh, ceramic stuff.
That comes with our boxes. So you put that on there, dude. I'm telling you. And I just clean mine with WD-40. WD-40 is the best thing to clean them with. So
gets rid of all the junk.
Yeah, the WD-40 is the best.
That's cool. My boxes, it's got wear marks on it from traveling and dings and stains.
The bottom drawer of my toolbox has a big dent in it, and the paint is like it rusted off because I dropped a battery one time, a car battery. It fell and the drawer was open about 4 inches and bounced off the drawer. And I was like, son of a bitch, didn't have time to really address it. And then by the time I remembered, I forgot. So of course whatever acid off, and I have the dent to prove it. So
I had a guy. He had a box. It's like it's a Mako box, and it was about 29 years old. I think is the date on it. And I got that in the back. I want to restore it. And then I have another guy. He's getting ready to retire. He's got a box that's 35 years old. And I'm trying to grab that box from him.
I bought mine in 80 or 81 maybe.
Yeah.
So I bought my Craftsman boxes in the 70s.
Yeah, those are ones I had.
And then in the late 80s, the Mac guy was coming around. Snap-on wanted like way too much. We didn't have a Mako guy coming around, but we had the Mac guy come by. And he's like, you need a new box. You need this brand new Maximizer.
A Maximizer, right.
Yeah, which is the one that's like goes this way and then it tapers and it's got 2 side cabinets.
That what year was that?
$1,000 for my $249 Craftsman box.
The Snap-on guy did the same thing. I had a red bottom cabinet that was the newer color for Craftsman at the time. I had a middle box that was red, and I had an old silver top box that was that was an older one, and he gave me like list price. He gave me like about $1,000. I'm like, you kidding me? I only paid like $300 for this. He goes, don't worry. He goes, we're taking care of you. I'm going to give you like a like $1,000. Like, holy shit! What else do you want to buy?
The markup that guy got.
What else do you want?
Trust me. Yeah.
Listen, he had the grease in the other hand.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Well, actually, the box I got was the one he kept on the truck that he kept all the sockets and repair stuff, and he was working out of that box for a while. And I guess they were going to a new version that they were changing them over, and it just you wanted to get rid of that old one, even though it was current. He finally gave me a deal on it, and I said, "Yeah, It was like a deal I couldn't resist, so took it.
Yep.
Plus, he brought it to the house, lift gate, boom, put it down to the basement. It was great.
My
Yeah.
neighbor, he doesn't live across the street anymore. He was living here for a few years. He's a super high-end body guy. Works on a lot of exotics and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I had a problem with my other pickup truck, and he was like, "Dude, just bring it to my shop. I'll make sure that my best guy fixes you up." I'm like, "All right, no problem." So I go to his shop one day. He's got lime green Snap-on.
Yeah.
He's got 9 boxes
Oh, geez.
because he just keeps buying a box every time he gets something else that has to do with body and paint.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's got like a horseshoe around his work area.
Yeah.
And we're not talking little ones. I'm talking, he's got like a box that's like, well, it's got 4 sets of casters under it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to be like 7 feet long. And he's
Yep.
got like 3
They're,
of those.
let's see here. I
Then he's
have
got tops on it, and he's got to stand up. He's actually got a green step in order to be able to get up and look inside. And then he's got like a, what do you call it? A bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a, like in the middle, he's got like a work area, and he's got a TV and a radio and lights and the whole deal. And he's got this bridge above it. I'm like,
Wow.
geez, you can live here.
You know, I got to show you this. My nephew,
It's insane.
he just asked me the other day. I'm sorry, last week. I don't know how it came about, but he's got a Snap-on box. I'll show you a picture of it. And he wanted a they made a radio speaker set that looks like a toolbox. And he happened to ask me about it, and I wasn't sure. So I asked Mike at the shop. And he says, "Oh yeah. Bill has one of them on the truck." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, well, he goes, "Yeah, it was in the back, didn't you?" I'm like, "No, I never even noticed it." So I get in touch with the Snap-on guy, and he goes, "Yeah, I got one of them. $640, right, Brian? We talked about this."
yeah.
I'm like, "What are you kidding me?" So I told John, and I said,
Talking about greasing the shaft.
"Yeah, it's $640." And he's like, this is it. It looks like a toolbox, but
Yeah,
that's
that's
an
cool.
audio. It's an audio system.
I
That's
would
the
pay
back.
$600 for that, though.
Well, so John, he buys it. Yeah, I put it on my account, put it on my card. This is John's toolbox. It's it's called it's got a name, a big something.
Epic? Is
No,
it
it's
Epic?
bigger than an Epic. It's
What is
some
that?
big ass box. It's got I don't remember the name, but it's really two boxes, side cabinets, the whole 9 yards. So I said to him,
Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
I said, he pays $56,000 in toolboxes. I said, what do you? And these things are full. Plus,
Right.
you got a service truck that's full. So I said, John, why in God's name would you spend $706 with tax for this freaking stereo? He goes, well, it matches my toolbox. I said, okay, yeah, I kind of follow that. I said, but it's a lot of money. He goes, yeah, but he goes, I don't need it, but it's like. I said, I know, you just want it, right? So he picked it up the other day. He handed me $708 cash. I put it in the envelope when my bill comes in. I'm like, okay, it's yours. I said, listen,
Sweet.
I'm not
So I
here
could
to judge.
imagine how much money my neighbor has in his stuff.
Yeah. I said, I'm not here to judge you. It's
Probably
like,
more than $100,000 worth of tools.
Oh, easy. It's disgusing.
easy.
Yeah.
Easy is right.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
got everything.
Hey, in the chat room, Keith put a video that he did on a 56-inch box.
Yeah.
If you want to take a look at it.
The nice
Keith.
thing. The nice thing about the Matco boxes is they got those wheels in the center, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I
had
have
a
Good
Truthfully,
audio.
truthfully, I haven't seen any Snap-on boxes collapse in the middle, but I
well.
like the
All you
idea
gotta
of
do, all you gotta
rerun
do
it.
is push. All you gotta do is push one across the floor, and you can watch it bounce up and down.
Really, yeah.
But the funny part was, I sold a 3-bay Snap-on at the Ford dealership, right? And I was pushing it out of the back of the truck, and thank
Right.
God
Yeah.
it was not a Matco box, because I would have lost it, because the box got away from me and starts going out the back of the truck, and the ramp is up. I mean, we're
Oh,
and
yeah.
the box shoots out of the back of the truck, and it goes off the lift gate.
Wow.
But because there was no center wheel, the box falls and drags on the lift gate and stops, and it's teetering there.
Oh my God.
So I come back up and I grab the box. There's some black dude walking down the street. His eyes were about that big around because the thing comes out like giving birth, like shooting something out of a cannon. And I was like, dude, come here. He's like, what? I said, grab that controller, push the button down. So he gets it down and he's like, holy shit, man, did you see that? And I said, yeah. But man,
You see that?
I wiped the dust off.
Oh man.
Cleaned the box up, rolled it in, signed the paperwork, out of here, man. Thank God that thing didn't fall. That was crazy. Thank God it didn't have another set of wheels.
You're right.
It would have rolled right on out of that truck on the ground. It would have been one hell of a drop test.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like how much touch-up
He's
can you
got
get?
really good music on the start of his video.
Nice.
Keith. Yeah.
Nice. Keith's got some nice heavy metal stuff. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thanks, Keith, for sharing that.
I'm gonna watch the rest of that video after we get off.
No, that's one of the boxes from
man.
what?
Those boxes are big.
Lowe's?
Husky.
Isn't that Lowe's?
Big box.
yeah.
Lowe's is Husky?
This
I think
is
so.
Yeah.
this is a box I bought back in the 80s. I built it into the workbenches in between it. I took the casters off the bottom, so the bottom box is on the bottom, and the top in the middle is just on top of the bench.
That's what I did with Jenny's toolbox.
That's my
In her
ancient
arts and
snap-on
crafts room.
toolbox.
I took a box and took the casters off of it, set it on a plank, and then built the cabinet, not a cabinet, but a
work surface.
A work surface over on top of it.
Good idea.
So she can walk around with her little Mako keychain, and she's got a $1 million box.
Cool.
Keith, who did the music on the intro on your video? I like that stuff. You gotta hear it. Ray, you gotta listen to it. It's got killer drum beat. Real heavy stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Super bass. Guys like doing bass triplets.
We got to get into that later. I got a couple things to tell you about that.
Hey, Keith, you want to jump in on screen? I'm gonna jump out.
Oh yeah, you got to go to bed, little boy.
Yeah, man. 5 o'clock comes quick.
I get up.
Damn
right. I get up 6:30.
Well, I get up at 4:30, and I'm at work at 5:15.
No.
4:30 running credit cards.
Yeah. Before the bank opened.
Life of a tool man.
Yeah.
I just ran 9,000 tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a lot of customers.
I had the best ever is when you run somebody's credit card at 4:30 in the morning, and they call you and say, "Why are you running my card?" Because they're sitting at a bar someplace.
Oh, those are the things.
And I'm like, "What the hell are you doing up?" Because I haven't even been home yet. And I said, "Well, it's Friday. I'm running your card. Remember?" Wow. Oh no, man! Leave some money on. I'm at a bar. I'm sorry, dude. It's gone.
That's funny. Leave some money.
Leave some money on that card. Hell no, dude. I might hit it again. You better hurry up.
You better get your drink.
With my business, I got customers. They give us a check on the day we do the service, and then others that, like the corporate ones, they send you the check like every 15 days or every 30 days. And then I got a whole slew of credit cards. So I run the credit cards like around the middle of the month. And today it was over 9 G's today. I was like, I'm having a good month.
Yeah.
Half-breed needs some parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
All right, fellas. Next week I'll be back on. I got a couple of people I might be able to get on next week. Couple guests. Cool. So
excellent.
Sounds great. It's always.
We'll be here with our hand sanitizer, so we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Drinking
You're about the
Lysol.
only one because I can't find it nowhere.
Yeah.
Florida's going to be too hot this week for the virus.
Oh, yeah, actually, kill it off.
I read somewhere take an aloe vera plant, which we have upstairs. You could squeeze it and then add
rubbing alcohol,
peroxide.
Rubbing alcohol, peroxide, right? And then they said to add something to make it smell nice,
like some kind of citrus.
Citron vodka.
Just put a little Old Spice deodorant in it.
Old Spice, right? There
Old
you go.
Spice
The only reason why you're here is because your grandfather wore Old Spice.
Hey, I got Old Spice in my medicine chest.
That's
I wore
right.
it,
Oh, man, yeah.
and I got a bottle of
Good.
Brut too by Fabergé.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. I'll see you guys later.
My wife goes,
All right,
why do you smell
see ya.
like my grandfather?
Yeah, yeah. And I got a bottle of English leather in there too.
English leather. Holy smokes, Ray.
I had a Paco Rabanne, but I finally figured, it's like,
I got a bunch of polos.
yeah, the polos, yeah.
All the different polos.
You know, my
Green,
daughter
yellow,
bought me a new cologne from Macy's a couple years ago, and it's clear. It's called Chrome. I'm like,
yeah.
wow, and it's a nice smell. She goes, yeah, Dad, I thought of you when I saw it. I'm like, why? I hate Chrome. Chrome don't get you home. Like, I'm not Henry Ford, man. Any color as long as it's black. But yeah, it was nice. So I was like, yeah, Chrome. It's like, we'll go to someone's house, and you say hello, and you kiss the guy's wife, you say hi, and I've had women say to me, wow, that's a nice cologne. What is that? I'm like, yeah, it's Chrome. And they're like, of course it is. So now I want to get like Ludwig. I get some Ludwig.
Sandalwood.
Yeah, right.
Like a drumstick.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's what is that? Gunpowder.
Gunpowder. Nice.
Smells like gunpowder. Yeah.
Nothing like being at the range, man. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gunpowder.
Hey, did I show you the tranny cooler I'm using for this car?
I don't think so. Nice. Wow, it's small.
Small.
With a fan. So you can mount that under the car. Yeah.
It's got one of those SPAL fans on it.
Yeah, you could put that anywhere.
It's 19 rows.
That's the same fan. That's the fan that's on the Vintage Air evaporator. It's a small fan.
Is that that's just air, right? That doesn't have a water hookup and
no. This is just a tranny cooler.
Yeah.
Air cooled tranny cooler.
Yeah.
So
nice, but you can put that, in any position, anywhere in the car, and it cools itself.
Yeah, I'm trying to determine if I'm going to just run that, or to simplify plumbing, or am I going to put that in line along with the one that when you get in the radiator.
Okay.
So it would be like an extra.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal. I'm not sure yet though.
With the fan, that may be more than you need. That may be enough.
I was told that would be more than enough for a car that's being driven on the street.
Yeah. I think so, especially with 19 rows.
It's very thick, and it's 19 rows. It's one of those stacked flat deals.
Earl makes it. Earl. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we used to use the Lockhart coolers on the motorcycles back in the day. They were like the cooler to buy. It was like when someone's known for something.
I forgot how many CFM this fan moves, but it's a lot.
Those small fans move, man. They boogie.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be noisy, but it's okay.
Yeah. Not like even the small fan on the Vintage Air, you can see it under the dash. You can actually see the fan. And I said, oh, man, this is going to be noisy as hell in the car. It's not.
Yeah.
Really, because Spal is like one of the top fan manufacturers, so they know their shit. They do it right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, a little battery up to it.
A little kind
of. Oh, yeah. Battery, just power it up and sync.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying right now just to see what it sounds like. I mean,
take your power probe.
I got
very true. Need a power probe, John? We're gonna fix this guy up.
Yeah, right.
All right, cool.
Power probe is a great tool.
Man. Once I get rid of this turd, I'll have room.
Yeah. What are you getting there?
Check this out. The newest thing is a guy that used to live on the farm where I had the race car shop for a while. Called me up. He works for a guy that owns a bunch of restaurants around here. I went down there. They're talking about doing a beer mug saltwater aquarium. So cylinder, and we would put a handle on it like a beer mug. Nice. And then I'd have the guy that does my architectural foam stuff build a head of beer on the top.
Yeah.
And then we'd light it with yellow LEDs. Nice. So it looks like a big giant mug of Budweiser.
That's cool.
He's interested in possibly buying that property.
Oh, okay.
He's got a couple of cars, and he's looking for a place to store stuff and a place to keep the cars and the whole deal. And I told Hillbilly, I said, go tell your boss if he buys the place, I want my old shop back.
Oh, okay.
Rent my old shop from him.
All right.
Which that shop was perfect.
There you go.
Heavy power, high ceilings. I could put a lift in there.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful floors. I mean, the concrete floors they're like 12-inch thick concrete.
Right.
You know? And they're they float them and then they use that machine that they sit on.
Yeah.
Right.
So
They're
all
polished.
Polished. Yeah.
Yep.
That was an awesome shop. And
Nice.
I asked him. I said, "Is the equipment still in there?" And he goes, "Oh yeah. Nobody took anything."
Wow.
So that giant lathe is still in there.
Nice.
The Bridgeport mill.
Beautiful.
And that huge hydraulic system that does all of that crimping, like the air conditioning. And
there you go.
Yeah.
That whole system's there.
Wow.
With all of the dies.
I was going to say, knowing what went through there, you might want to see if like the remnants from the meth lab ruined the floor. You know,
Not that one. That was the old man's personal garage where he kept his Pro Street Camaro.
Good.
So yeah, if this guy buys the property, man, I'll move over there.
Yeah, damn right.
That was an awesome shop. Really,
those meth labs eat up buildings, man. They just destroy and teeth, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's cool. Yeah.
Where's your little drum kit?
I got it. Hang on. I got it.
Where do you see this thing? Did you see it?
No.
Oh, dude, it's Ringo's kit in scale model. Yeah, it's a scale model of Ringo's kit.
Wow.
Oh, that thing's awesome. Same wrap, that Blue Oyster Pearl.
Yeah.
Oyster Black Pearl, they call it. Yeah. It's nice.
So where did he get that from?
From the guy that sold him the drum set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did actually disassemble it and brought it down. It is the Oyster Pearl.
Yeah.
The Black Oyster Pearl.
Wow.
Ringo set.
Cool. It's got cymbals, got everything.
It's got the festival snare.
There you
of
go.
course, the Black Oyster floor top with the legs. I mean, the detail is it's like a freaking who made all the car models? Those car kits. The
AMT.
MPC.
Monogram. AMT. Joe Hansen.
There was a store that was selling them. I have some of the metal ones that are they were really expensive.
Oh yeah.
Ertl. Not even Ertl.
No.
Tall cymbal stand. Even the detail on the legs.
Those are the newer style legs,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because he had the old school with they're flat.
Right.
That's the newer style. What do they call the Ludwig hardware?
I don't know what they call it. Okay,
Atlas. That's Ludwig Atlas hardware. That's the new style. I have that stuff.
I do too. Now,
I have a couple of boxes. If you need any brand new Atlas cymbal stands, let me know.
I was just looking. I have another lug on the bass drum that I can use a stand on a ride. I want to run one of those. The snare drum. It actually,
wow, it articulates. How cool!
The legs fold.
Yeah.
And even these up here for the snare will fold.
That's awesome. So that's like real.
Yeah, I mean the throne, the same thing. The throne opens.
Yeah.
And the hi-hat, I got a feeling this hi-hat will actually work because up here you can.
Oh, get out of here!
Holy smokes!
There's organs here.
Look at this. The foot pedal.
Now, what foot pedal is it? Is it the Ludwig foot pedal, or is it?
Have you seen this? Have you seen that stuff on eBay?
I didn't look for it. No.
They got right here a Beatles miniature drum set, Ringo Starr, Ed Sullivan Super Mini set, and it's a different color than what you have.
Yeah, Ringo's with Black Oyster.
Yeah, but it says Ringo Starr's Ed Sullivan Super Mini set.
I keep seeing a glare, but here it is set up.
Yeah, it's kind of washed out.
Yeah, I don't know why that happens with this phone. The other phone didn't do it.
Ludwig. Look at that.
You got to tilt your camera up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Oh, there you go. Now go to your left or to your right. Oh, stop right there. Okay.
It's only about this big on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you get kind of in the middle now. You could.
John, I was spending some time. I was spending some time today just taking everything apart, putting it back together, I was adjusting the foot pedal. I'm trying to get a shorter stroke on the foot pedal because my foot is definitely out of shape. Definitely out of shape. So I wanted a shorter stroke to the drum. And it has a solid wood beater on this thing. It's like,
that's
he said,
nasty.
yeah, he said that's what he
slap.
That's what he prefers. Yeah, and this thing is the kid is in my den with a laminate floor, and like he was telling me, he says, these Ludwig drums, nothing sounds like a set of vintage Ludwig drums. And I tell you, that snare is snappy when I hit the tom. The floor tom is like hitting a timpani. It
just keeps ringing.
Oh, but the depth and the tone, like he said, this 60-year-old wood is nothing will sound like a Ludwig set. He goes, this is just so sweet. And he's right. Yeah.
Do you have the kind that's got the rings on the inside, top and bottom?
There are rings, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right under the head.
And those thick heads too. Those are the heavy Remo heads. They almost feel like a
Remo pinstripes.
Yeah, it's like a grittiness to them. They're really
yeah. And then you got the Ludwig Remo snare head.
Right. Top and bottom. Yeah.
That's cool.
Good sound. Nice sound.
They got in here a John Bonham Led Zeppelin orange set.
Yeah, the acrylic ones.
The Holy Grail is the green sparkle. Trying to find a green sparkle. It comes up, but they're expensive.
This guy on eBay has drums and guitars.
Yeah.
He has all these like Sammy Hagar Red Rocker one.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I never even thought about looking at something like that.
Oh yeah. There's a ton of that stuff out there.
I was looking for an additional rack tom, and to find a rack tom from the 60s, early 70s in gold sparkle, they're like $300-400.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This one has a really cool mount on it. It's that floating mount, that big ring that goes around the side. It hits like 4 lugs.
Oh, that's what I have.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought the drum was going to move, but it doesn't. It just stays still. But
that's the newer stuff. They're called they're isolation mounts.
Right.
Who makes the ones that you have? There's a couple different companies.
I just looked it up before. Something Max or something Max. Yeah, I looked it up. It's about a $70 mount.
Yep.
Very nice.
I have them on all of mine.
Yeah.
A lot of money when you start doing that.
And then I'm looking, I was really spending some time looking at the DW 5000 pedal is like, I took that thing all apart. Like, wow, there's actually roller bearings in the end. Like, cool.
And you use like sewing machine oil on those things.
Yeah, and there's like that wad that's in the spring, to help dampen the spring. Like, man, who thought this out? Somebody. But I spent some time with the hi-hat like, what a mechanism this. It's all Ludwig stands, and that Ludwig hi-hat mount stand is a work of art. It's a work of art. Unbelievable.
I had a Gibraltar because they came out with one that
I like Gibraltar. Yeah,
articulated.
Yeah.
Uses a cable kind of deal. So the pedal, you could put the pedals next to each other, which makes it easy to play.
Yeah.
And if it's a straight one, then your hi-hat winds up being like right over your snare.
Yeah.
Just a little uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So they made one that it has like 2 spherical balls.
Right.
And you can go over and then up.
Nice.
But the problem is it's an internal cable system.
Yeah.
And if it gets below a certain temperature, like if you got the AC on, it sticks.
Oh, yeah.
It has lousy response time.
They should have put a Teflon liner in there.
Yeah, so I wound up tossing that. I sold it to some guy from around the corner, and I went and I took my Ludwig, and I basically took the legs off of it so I could put it next to my bass pedal, my left bass pedal. Yeah. And then I used a mount from Tama, which is just a clamp mount that goes onto the rim, and then it grabs the hi-hat.
Right.
And it works perfect. So I'm back to using a Ludwig hi-hat.
Yeah.
And I got the 2 DW 9000 pedals.
Yeah.
And I guess when I had to set up before I turned the garage into a race car shop, I got my friends coming over. They're like, dude, why don't you use like a double pedal? And I'm like, double pedals for kids. I said, if you're a man, you have 2 bass drums.
Yeah, there you go.
I said, a real man plays double bass drums, not a double pedal.
Right.
Everybody says, yeah, well, Neil here, he plays a double pedal. I'm like, well, excuse me.
Yeah.
You know?
We had a laughable moment because my buddy's setting the stuff up in my den, and he says to me, I can't find a tool. He goes, "Do you have a 7/16 wrench?" Like, yeah, I think I
Yeah.
And he's looking at all the tool memorabilia around my den, He's like, yeah, that's a stupid question. I'm like, Tom, do you want long, short, mini, ratcheting, electric? What do you want? He's like, it just in the 7/16 wrench. Like, all right, good. So that was a laughable moment. But I found out, I did learn something. And my wife asked me about that. I said, no matter how much you have in your head and what you can feel and sense about music, making it happen physically is a whole nother ball game. And man, did I lose my edge. I lost.
You're 100% right, because
I lost everything.
I can play like a virtuoso on the desk or the steering wheel.
Me too. Absolutely.
And then to try and recreate that stuff, doing it.
I found that I'm okay. Like on the sound, I'm okay on the drums. It's the timing and the interaction between everything that's where I lost it. I got to get that muscle memory back. It's killing me.
The biggest thing is really fast fills.
Yeah.
Trying to get your body to come around a kid again.
Yeah. And you go,
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I used to do this. I did it. It was no problem whatsoever, like 4 tom-toms across the top, 2 floor toms, now to get to that second floor tom, it's like, I don't think my body goes that far anymore,
Well, I tell you what,
hard.
what I said was what I'm going to do is, besides just practice, I'm going to start with playing 60s and 70s AM radio hits.
4/4 stuff.
Because it's easy stuff. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, every once in a while you get a little bit. You can do a little bit of a film. You can play around with it, but I said, don't start with the hard. Why start with the hard? Let's start with the easy stuff, and then move up. So we'll see. So we're sitting there watching TV. My bed is sitting there right in the, I turned it today like 90 degrees so it could face the other way. My wife is. I said, I just like looking at it because I just like looking at it. So she says, are you a little disillusioned yet? Are you? I'm like, oh hell yeah! And she's like, wow, that was fast. I'm like, no bones about it. I'm telling you, I lost everything.
It comes back.
I'm gonna work at it. So
it comes back.
So is that the new?
I started out with just messing around on the snare drum, just trying to get my hands back.
So
that was
Ray,
6 months.
So is this the new Christmas tree now?
Christmas tree. Now,
are we gonna put when Christmas comes around? Are we gonna put lights on it? And the presents will be around it. And is this the new landmark? Or
the idea is it's supposed to come down here into the basement, but I don't have the room right now because of all the junk that's down here. So we set it up, and I kind of like it in the den though. I like it. Like my pool table's in the den, and people can like, "Oh, you got a pool table in your den?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. Where else should it be?"
Right. That's where you walk in my front door and I got a pool table. Everybody says the same thing. It's like this, like, you got a pool table? Yeah, it's right here.
Truthfully, I'm going to leave it there as long as I possibly can until I have to get it out of there. But which raises a question, John. What do you think? One of the things I should get rid of is my fish tank. I got a 55-gallon tank from the 50s. It's like 3/8 thick glass.
Wow.
And I was told they stopped making that thickness like somewhere in the 60s.
Yeah.
And, it's on a wrought iron base, but I had an oak cabinet made for it that actually just covers the base. So the cabinet isn't supporting it. The wrought iron is.
Is it a glass bottom or slate bottom?
It's a glass bottom. I understand these tanks had slate inserts for the back and the bottom. I don't have any of that. It's all glass.
That's
but it's
cool.
3/8 glass.
Well, you won't get any money for it.
Yeah, okay. That's my question, if they were worth anything.
Go on Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace, and you'll find a bazillion tanks. And you could have. I got customers that'll put $30,000 into a tank, and then they have to move, and the person that's buying a house doesn't want it.
Right.
And it's like they pay me to take it, and then sell it, and I'll have stuff sitting around for 2 years, and I'm lucky if I can get $700.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you set them out. You like go by our area. People set them out, and they can't. People don't even pick them up anymore. You know, they don't even. Yeah, it's. We had a 55. I had a 55 gallon, and I put it in the wall.
Yeah.
So you look through like when you walk through the front door, we had a little wall. We had a wall that was like 4 feet long or whatever, and I cut it out and put the fish tank in there so that you can see between.
That's
And
nice.
that was
Yeah.
great. I mean, that was a long. I mean, until we decided to remove the wall and open up the room. But like I said, it was. I didn't know what we were going to do with the 55-gallon tank, because it takes up a lot of real estate.
Keith is right. Danbury Mint is the cars I was thinking.
Yes, Danbury. Yep.
That's exactly. What
yeah, Danbury, right?
But I tell you, I remember when I bought the top for this tank, just to buy the lid with the light, that cost me a couple $100.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the more they cost, I was like, holy shit, man, that was a lot.
When I got into the aquarium hobby, when I still had the shop on the island, I'm like, this is the same as drag racing.
Yeah.
There's your major corporations, so the ones that everybody sees and kind of knows about, like when you go to the pet store.
Yeah.
But there's a huge amount of companies worldwide that make customized equipment for aquariums, be it filtration or lighting or whatever. And those aren't carried by your major stores. Those are companies you're going to deal with directly through the internet, or call them up on a phone, their website or whatever. And it's just like race cars. There's a bazillion companies that make fuel pumps. And in that line of fuel pumps, there's stock to 5,000 horsepower.
Right.
Same thing. There's all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When I got into that business, I'm like, this is just like race cars.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
It's like insert hobby here, and it's like.
Yeah. Drums are the same thing.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Guitars even more, because you got all these companies that make all of these boxes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The electronic.
All these different boxes. All the electronic boxes,
Yeah.
So, there's a lot going on.
So what's going on, Lee?
I got to go find a spray bottle for my wife.
Oh.
Life has been hectic this last couple of weeks. I think I told one of you that my car wash caught on fire.
You were telling me about it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
with all that water,
in 1996, if you had a 5 breaker main, you didn't have to have a main breaker.
Uh-huh.
So this one mechanic's room has a roof vent, and that's where the original hydraulics and air compressor was. So we had the air fan on basically from May till September, trying to keep it cool. That brought in all the moisture from the tunnel. And so that room was always like a sauna. So that made the main wires corrode. The corrosion expanded the insulation. The corrosion increased the amperage draw to feed the wash. That also increased the heat, so it melted, and we had 3 phases directly bound to each other. It melted the box. I mean, seriously, like taking a blowtorch and melting it and watching it drip.
Yeah.
Wow. I had 15 gallons of hydraulic fluid stored in there. 5 gallons tilted and came out, and that's what caused the explosion. And so there was 1 gal going through the wash at the time, and she could see that both doors blew open, and then the fireball came into the tunnel right in front of her. Didn't hurt her or the car, thank goodness. But it got so hot that it cooked the cement, boiled the insulation off of one of the conduits going to the VFD drive unit. Has like 45 wires in it.
Wow.
And the picture of the section of wire looks like a hot dog that was burnt on a grill.
Wow.
How long was that cooking, Lee? How long was the fire?
About 15 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
Man.
A lot of damage fast. Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
run
well,
heavy
that
power in
fast
those
and-
places too, right? Like 440 or
It's
660.
a 480 600 amp
Yeah.
service,
Wow.
and so the transformer is right out the street. So they figured when it shorted, it was going anywhere from 800 to 900 amps just directly to the panel. The main
Wow.
lugs, which are 3-inch by 1/4 inch, they're gone. They're just melted. And so it just kept going. Didn't matter what the circuit breakers were doing because it was before the circuit breakers.
Yeah.
So it's been we had just done a complete remodel 2.5 years ago with all new state-of-the-art equipment except the main panel.
You know, I had something odd happen to me years ago. Out in my garage, I have a separate service panel. It's a 220, 100 amp, or is it 200 amp? I think it's 100 amp. And, feeds off the main house. And what happened was, I don't remember what device was, something shorted, just like dead shorted. Boom, blew the breaker. All right. So I went in the breaker panel, and the breakers were not blown. I came in the house, and the house breaker that fuses the panel was blown. And then I couldn't figure that out. And I started asking everybody I know, like, why would one breaker not blow? The breaker closest to the load that shorted didn't blow, but the other one did. And I got a whole bunch of different answers that still really didn't make 100% sense to me, but odd things happen, in cases like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew it blew, and luckily it did because it saved, it did its job.
Well, that was the thing that I couldn't understand at the beginning was my lead was there. He said he heard some rumbling and he thought maybe the gal was having a hard time in the tunnel. So he walked out of the office, looked down the tunnel, and then witnessed the door explode and come out.
Wow.
And everything was running, and it kept running after the explosion.
Oh.
So it wasn't until heat automatic, because when you take a circuit breaker and you get it too hot, it'll automatically trip.
Right.
So it wasn't until the temperature rose enough in the room, mechanic room 2, that it tripped all the breakers and shut everything down.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it kept burning until the fire department got there, and they called PGE because sparks were coming out. And
Right.
it was,
Yeah.
and what's kind of interesting is 3 days
That was like
prior,
a foam, right? That was like a foam stuff.
when
They
it,
put
the last
fire
thing
out,
they did.
was the
Oh,
foam.
yeah,
Was it
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, they foamed everything.
That's
And
a hell
fireman
of a
was really
mess.
nice. After they had doused everything with water, he came up to me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he says, "We have to foam this now."
Mm.
And I looked at the fire marshal and I'm like, "Okay." And he looked back at me and he says, "We don't want to come back here and put out the rest of the building later." I'm like, "Okay." And then I saw what he was doing. They opened up all the panels and just sprayed foam on everything. So all my electronics, every running gear, hydraulic system, air pump system, air cooling system.
It's all
gone.
ruined. Yeah.
All ruined.
Wow.
It's terrible. Thankfully, that lady got out.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
back
Go
like
ahead.
1979, I'm working in the auto electric shop. I'm in the back room where we did all the breakdown. And, there was a fan in the window. It was hot back there. And, had the stereo. And, using the tools, the washers are there. And all the machinery is loud, noisy, and hot. I started hearing this like crackling noise. And like, what the hell was it? I didn't know. And I'll never forget to this day, the Good Rats, Fred Upstairs and Ginger Snappers, a great jazz song, was playing on the radio on BAB, and all of a sudden I heard a boof, and everything goes off. I'm like, what? And hear them yelling from the front shop, what the fuck is going on? Ah! The breaker panel, I looked to my left, and it was just in flames. Just in flames. It was all aluminum wiring. And aluminum wiring, that's the thing, though. The misconception is aluminum wiring sucks. Aluminum wiring doesn't suck. The problem is the connections loosen up. And when they loosen up and the resistance goes up, that's when aluminum wiring is a problem. Like, you really got to tighten these things down. And that's what happened. It just finally vibrated enough and woof went up. And like, we're all standing there, like, in all the grease, we're thinking like the grease and the solvents in this room, like, oh my God, if this room goes up, it's going to be like a candle. And then luckily we got it out with a fire extinguisher, and it was like, all right, call the electrician. But yeah, it's crazy stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, our fire extinguisher was right next to the wall and it's melted.
Yeah.
It didn't go off. It was, you look at it and all the gauge is about 4 inches long, just melted.
Wow.
Jeez.
Unreal. Yeah, that was quite the ordeal. So how long do you think it's going to take to get everything fully back online?
It's taken a month to get the litigation it's a tremendous process. The insurance company sends out an individual fire inspector.
Mm-hmm.
So like you see on TV, the guy comes around and he asks questions, and then he has to go in and investigate all the companies that have worked for me to see if he can pin them as the ones that were wrong. And then he looks at what was how the fire started, and that was fascinating because I asked him, I said, how do you know what went where? And so he showed me some of the things that they show you on the CSI TV shows, but they don't go into detail.
Right.
So now I know. But so that had to go through. Then we had to get the inspectors to come in and figure out how much it's going to cost. Well, they are still working on the estimate.
Wow.
And so we're talking to the insurance companies like, you realize it's going to cost you more every day that I'm not producing because you're paying for the production that I would be doing.
Right.
Yes, we understand that. Can we start? Oh, it's your business. You can go ahead and start. Okay, so tomorrow they're going to start the cleanup job. And then we had the structural engineer come in 2 days ago. He deemed that these sections of the walls just need to be rebuilt. And it doesn't have to, the whole back half doesn't have to be torn down like we thought.
Good.
And so I'm probably about another month.
Wow.
The panels are already being built. Nothing's off the shelf with the car wash. It's all custom built.
So did you hire like 3 young guys with buckets and sponges? Like to get out there and install water?
It's a fire cleaning company.
Oh, okay.
Because they have to go in and they have to wash all the soot off the tunnel from the ceiling to the walls and then dispose of it somehow. So I'm not sure how that's all going to work out.
Yeah, that's hazardous waste, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right down your sewer.
Yeah, well, you're right. Down a drain in the street, like you used to oil changes. I don't know.
Back in the day, you used to do oil changes. Believe it or not, it was in Popular Mechanics magazine. Get a hole digger, dig a hole, fill it with gravel, pour your oil right in there.
Yeah.
And my father had these junipers, these like light greenish gray junipers in the backyard. And I used to dump it right there all the time. Yeah. And let me tell you something, those things grew like they were on steroids.
Really?
He was out there trimming those things like every 3 months. Like, why are these growing and the ones on the other side of the property are
Hey, John, get over here. Days of these. Show what's up with the juniper.
Right?
We dumped so much oil behind the garage, it was like you couldn't even walk on it after a while. It was like a swamp.
Ground pollution.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It came from the ground. It goes back to the ground.
Just saying, yeah. But hey, it was the 70s, you know?
That's it.
It was the 70s.
It was. I used to hate my bell bottoms would get like all oily from walking on the swampy land, you know? It's like, damn, man, these are good bell bottoms.
I had a transmission shop when I first started selling tools, and you'd walk in and you could smell the transmission fluid. It was so strong, like on a hot day, you know, you could smell like rear end oil, you know, you could smell that stink, you know?
Yep.
And I was like, man, why is it so strong? And he goes, oh, our waste oil's back here. And I was like, okay. And so I walked back there, and there's this hole in the ground. And I'm like,
it's an outhouse.
Yeah, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, you know? I mean, this isn't that long ago. I mean, you know, this is, and
pouring it into a tank in the ground, or just pouring?
No, it was just pouring into the ground.
Wow.
And
super site.
when they came in, and this is part of the area that they're redeveloping and redoing.
Yeah, now it's a
And
super fun site.
Yeah, well, when they came in and closed the place down, so it sat empty for a couple years, and they went in, and then they realized they had this huge hazmat problem when I can't even tell you how big the hole was that they were digging that dirt to go get it burned, and I was like, who knows? I mean, this was like Al's transmissions from like 1947. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they were just dumping this stuff in the ground for
they
50 years.
Roll up some cotton, stick a wick in it, and they have an eternal flame.
Eternal flame. Oh,
that pollution
I tell
cloud
you.
spreads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time.
It's like the Bethpage plume up here is.
Yeah.
The Bethpage plume is almost. It's getting closer to Sunrise Highway. I mean, it's like it's past the Southern State. That's like miles of plume. And it's from the Navy. So we had Grumman over here with it was a Navy contractor, and it was from the 40s, back from the 40s.
I had
everything.
One of my shops. The lady was coming in, and she missed the driveway, and I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, up on the steps.
Yeah, she got the car wedged in between the steps and the light post. So it's off the ground, right?
Yeah, look at that.
So I'm sitting there, and the lady gets out of the car, and she's all, hysterical, and she goes into the place, into the tire shop, and the cop rolls up. They called the cops, and she rolls up. Well, just then, the wind blows across the car, and you get this contact high from all the marijuana that's been in the car, And I said, damn, I need to go get some Cheetos. And the cop goes, who's driving this car? And I said, she's in there.
I got to tell you, just yesterday, I was driving in the area I was driving. I turned down the street, and all of a sudden, I got this whiff of weed that was really good. I'm like, who did I just pass? And then I going down the block, and I'm still smelling it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. It's got to be this silver Chrysler 300 in front of me with the chrome rims. And
there you go.
And that guy, I just happened to be behind him for like 2 blocks. I followed him
away.
Yeah. And then he turned off and it went away. I'm like, that's like, dude, if you think you're getting away with this, anybody gets behind you, it's like, might as well just hang a red flag in the back window.
So the best part of the whole thing was the tags were dead for like a year and a half or whatever on the car.
That's nice.
And only downtown Silver Spring. It was awesome, dude. But I tell you, man, it was the smell was so strong when the wind came up out of there. I was like, damn. I said, I gotta go get some Cheetos. I'll be back.
At the shop I work at, the primary shop's a body shop, so cars will come over to our shop, and this one guy we got working, he always tells me, hey, come here, oh. And he always has to show me like the stinky cars. Like some guy is like a brand new car, he's a cigar smoker. He has me smell this one Impala one day, and he's like screwing up his nose. He goes, what is that? I opened the door, and right away I'm like, whoa. Like, somebody's smoking a lot of ganja in this car. And when the car's in an accident, you don't have time to clean out the car. You don't have time to take your shit out of it. Sometimes you're going to the hospital. It's like, there's no choice. I said, Derek, you don't know what that is? No, who is that, Mike? Like, just sit in that car. I said, sit in there and close the door for like 10 minutes. I said, you'll feel great afterwards. I said, you won't, you're going to have lunch twice today. But somebody's smoking weed in there. He's like, oh, is that what that is? I'm like, yeah, that's what that is.
That's what that is. I had
unreal.
I had a 911 that I was working on, and this guy was a brain surgeon, right? That's what his job was. And so I had to. He was pretty tall, and the 911s had plastic gears for the seat adjusters. And everybody would they would want to come back a little bit more, so they would always push on the seat, and the gears would get locked. They would lock up. So what you had to do was you had to reach up underneath the seat and kind of give it a heave ho to get the gears back in line, So, and of course, you charged an hour for this, but it only took 30 seconds, but you had to go get the car and at least bring it into the shop so that they didn't see you out in the parking lot doing this, So I go out and I opened the car up, and I guess he had some type of long hair cat.
Oh yeah,
There's
Maine
like
Coon.
there was like all this white hair all over the place, and it, kind of. I mean, it just had a weird smell to the car, And I'm like, oh my god, man, this is nasty. So I wasn't going to drive it in by that time. So I reach underneath the seat, and my hand goes like squishy noise, And I'm like, oh my god, what was that? So I pull it out, and it's a half-eaten Big Mac that has been sitting in the sun,
Oh God.
for I don't know how long. And so I fix the seat. I walk in, and like I wash my hands with shop soap, and I can still smell the Big Mac sauce, And so I'm like spraying brake clean.
Yeah.
I got brake clean. I finally went over to the old carburetor acid.
Plus two gum cutter. That's great
I
stuff.
sprayed everything. I couldn't get rid of that smell.
Performabuilt.
So
Right,
I opened up the lid. I opened the lid to the soak the carburetors in the acid, and I put my hand in there and pulled it out. And I was like, "That's got to kill the smell, man." That was like the worst.
God.
I walked up and I was like, "You're a brain surgeon?" And he goes, "Yeah." Well, I said, "God, I hope you never have to work on my brain, dude. You was like the dirtiest thing ever." That's when I learned to wear gloves before I reached underneath the seat.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna find.
I was gonna say, you don't know what's sharp. You could find a guy's 45 under there. Yeah, you might find like an open knife.
We had that one time do a service, and I did it, and there was a 45. So I go up to the service manager, said, "Hey, we got a loaded gun, in the car, and a bag full of weed and a few other stuff, So he gets on the phone, calls the state police. The state police comes out.
Touched you on your chest.
Turns out that they had this guy under surveillance, and they lost him.
Oh.
And they didn't know where he went.
Now.
So I was like, go ahead and finish, call him, and we'll get him when he leaves. And I told him, I said, dude, I don't want to have my name on this piece of paper.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be paid for this work. So I finished. I said, there is no way in the world they're going to let this guy out of this building. And I said, so I get done with the service. I hand them the ticket, and they're like, "You never flagged it." I said, "I don't want to be paid for it. It's on the house. I don't want to have. I don't want my name. I don't want to have anything to ever do with this car again. I don't want to have anything to do with it." And they're like, "Oh, it can't be that bad." And I'm like, "Oh, you wait." So 10 minutes to 5, all of a sudden the dealership is like packed with all these people. Like, you've never seen in your life before, and there's like a white van out in the front, and there's like all these black SUVs.
Yeah.
The one that says dry cleaner on it.
Yeah. The big bug on the top, I'm like, this is not going good here. So the dude comes in, gets in the car, and as soon as the car hits the road, not even off of the driveway apron, the vans, the car, people jumping out all over. They got guns, there are dogs, and I'm like, man, this isn't going to be really good. This guy is going to be pissed off and come back,
But did you get to keep the 45 in the bag of weed?
No.
At least
I should have.
Oh,
I know. Man.
Damn. Hate that.
Yeah. So
That's funny.
and then I had a 911 that came in for service, and the guy was supposed to pick it up on Monday morning, and I got done with it Friday night, and I took it back to the cleanup, and I left for the day. It was 7 o'clock or what, or 8 o'clock. I got it done because he had to have his car Monday morning, and so of course Monday morning I come in there. And I get the phone call first thing in the morning. Come to the office upstairs, not by your. It wasn't even into the regular office. It's upstairs, Yeah. And so I walk in there, and there's the guy that owns the car. and they said, Brian, this is Mr. So-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, is everything okay? What's wrong? He goes, well, I want to know why there's 475 miles on my car.
Oh.
I said, I have no idea. Where did he go? I was like, and he goes, well, I dropped my car off with this mileage, and when I came Monday morning to pick it up, it had 475 extra miles on it.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I said, I have no idea, dude. And a bag of weed, and he was really pissed. There was this bag of weed and all that stuff. Well, it turned out the cleanup guy took it to Ocean City for the weekend.
Nice.
That was awesome. I said, and back
gosh.
then you didn't have any video cam. We didn't. It was like we had 2 video cameras, and I said, did anybody ever look at a video camera? And you could see like the tail end of the 911 leaving like at 9:30 at night, and then coming back at 6 a.m. Coming back in. And I said,
God.
who else is here this early in the morning? Because
Ferris
that's my
Bueller's Day
video.
Off.
So,
That's
Well,
terrible.
here's the opposite side. We had a tech take a rig home because it had a weird miss or something in a supercharged Hemi rig. So he drives it home. It's about a 30-minute drive, drives it back. The guy comes in the next day going, can I get into my car, please? Really nervous. So we walked him out, and he's like, okay, I need to get something out of my car. And we're like, dude, go. It's your car. What's going on? He opens it up, opens the center console, pulls out a 9mm, opens up the side and the front part of the dash, and pulls out his stash of weed.
yeah.
So could you imagine if our technician would have been pulled over in that
Oh,
for
yeah.
making
God,
sure it was
yeah.
running right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
terrible.
I'm surprised he even did that with you guys there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he was half baked.
Well, the good thing is if you get pulled over, they're usually not tossing the car. They're usually just writing you the ticket. So usually,
Well, as long as they don't smell it. I mean, if they smell anything, dude,
Yeah,
they're
like-
tossing.
I saw a guy getting tossed today.
And they found this Chrysler 300, man. This guy was leaving a trail down the road for miles. I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah, especially since they changed that. Like I said, all they gotta do is if they smell it. I mean, that's part. They can toss it.
I'm sure that's what happened with this guy today. It was in Fort Myers,
Uh-huh.
on Route 41, and it was a state trooper, and this guy on his phone leaning on the trooper's hood,
Oh yeah.
and the cop, all you could see was his butt hanging out the door. He was like open The dude had dreadlocks, and I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, okay,
There we
Jamaica man, yeah, no problem.
Let's tell you, man.
I saw a hood blow off today.
I'm looking at the hardwood hood
Really?
scoop behind you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right there.
there you go.
Yeah, on I-4, I'm like tooting along, and I was in the right lane, getting ready to get off, and it was a old Chevy Cavalier,
Uh-huh.
left lane. All of a sudden, the hood went whoop
Wow, right back
right
to
up against the windshield.
I'm surprised you weren't behind him.
No, thank God.
Yeah.
I tell you, well, other than I had a buddy forget to put the hood pins in the Mustang one time,
Yeah,
and that pissed me off, man. I was livid. But the best ever was my dad. We had a '79 Volkswagen Rabbit, and it was one of the last German cars, so it had the round headlights in the front instead of the square ones. It was a diesel. That was the car we learned to drive on. 43 raw horsepower. I mean, this thing was awesome. And man, you want to talk about rolling coal? It had a manual clutch lever for the glow plugs.
Yeah.
So you could pop that thing out, and man, it would roll some coal like you would not believe.
Yeah.
But
You got a minute left.
dad-
You got a
my
minute left,
dad-
Brian.
God
All
love
right.
him. My dad, he crashed up the front end of the car, so he took it to a body shop and got it all fixed up. And of course, they had problems because of it being a German car. They kept getting USA parts, and it was different. So it took a while. and he finally got it all fixed out. So I take him out to get the car. So we drive out there in the hot rod, and we're coming back, and there was this road. It was Fieldcrest was the name of the road, and it had the perfect quarter-mile layout, flat, just for miles.
You got 15 seconds. Wrap it up.
So we're going along, and I take off, and I'm headed down there. Well, I guess my dad felt a little spunky and hit the diesel right with this gas. Well, they forgot to bolt. They forgot to bolt the hood, and the hood comes up and goes over the car and mangles up in the road. My dad was so furious. I never saw him. He folded that hood up in a square and stuck it in the back seat and took it back to the guy.
Oh my God, we're over 2 hours here. What's up?
I see that. Yeah,
it's probably when he started. It will eventually go here, but
that's right. He started late.
I've never seen my dad so mad where he just took the hood of the car and folded it up until it fit inside. I said, "Dad, do you want me to go back with you?" He said, "No, I will be home later." I said, "No problem." I get home. My mom goes, "Where's your father?" I said, "He had a little problem. He's at the body shop still."
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
There's your Wolfsburg edition.
Oh,
that's funny.
That was awesome.
That's great. Well, this thing's gonna bail anytime, I guess.
Yeah, it should be real time from when he started the session. So I don't know why it's later.
I don't know.
It'll go here in a minute.
Yeah,
but it was great seeing you guys.
Yeah, man.
Have a great week, everyone.
Yes, sir. We'll catch you next week.
Don't
stay away from
Corona. Doorknobs.
Right.
Stay away.
Will do.
I'll try my best.
Yes, sir.
Try your best. Oh shit!
Amazing. Who knows?
Did you get your truck back though, John? Is it all done? And
picking it up tomorrow with all of the new parts and re-rubbing because I found there was like swirl marks everywhere.
Oh, geez.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. And I don't know. I've dealt with black before. You use swirl mark remover and you hit it with a wheel.
Right.
Yeah.
The guy says, "Oh yeah, they're wet sanding it and rubbing it," and I'm like, "Is there going to be any clear left on this thing when you're done?"
And these are body shop guys too. That's
right.
The scary part.
I'm like, whatever. As long as it looks perfectly mint when I get it back, I'm all right.
Right.
I'm driving a Dodge Hemi.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they took
Good for you.
Fast motor. Let me tell you something.
Everybody needs a Hemi, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let me tell you, it's a 1500 pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a 1500 pickup with coil springs in the back.
I
don't think you could put any weight in this thing at all.
No. They're made for people driving them around town and taking them to work.
Going to the grocery store. Yeah. But it is fast.
I wasn't
tell you.
Until you drop a valve.
I'll tell you this. Chrysler Dodge also didn't. They put the absolute minimum allowed by law requirement of grease on the slide pins on the calipers.
Oh
and
yeah.
I bought the one that was like original, and it was like just a wisp, like nothing. Like,
this thing's got 4,000 miles on it. It's a 2020, and I've been driving it since yesterday, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I kind of like it, but I'm not a Dodge guy, but I like the truck. It's
nice driving trucks. Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah,
and like I said, I tromped on it a couple of times up on the highway, and I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Lots.
Be careful; it might get in your blood.
Yeah, right.
I like all of the marquees, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm a GM guy.
Too.
Right.
But I can appreciate, I mean, I love old Dodges, Dodge 69, 70, Dodge Chargers, Road Runners, Hemi Cooters. I love that stuff,
Sure.
I appreciate everything that the big three put out, including the stuff that AMC did, the Javelins.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you bet.
Stuff. I appreciate all of that stuff. But I've always been a GM guy. So to my detriment with some of my friends that are like hardcore Ford. And
I know. It's okay. We still love you, John.
So it makes the world go round.
It's okay. Nothing like a big block.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, hey Ray, that email you sent me, those tri-powers were like on Ford Fairlanes.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
that body style and those seats Actually, that's like the pony. That's the deluxe interior, and those are LMR seats. Those are aftermarket.
Okay.
LMR's
And-
good stuff.
And what happened is those seats are so wide. The deluxe door panels had a raised out area for your arm,
Uh-huh.
and that's why you had different door panels because they won't fit. I had the same problem. I had some Thunderbird seats in my Mustang,
Yeah.
and because they did the wraparound, they were rounded like
Right.
a half a barrel.
Yeah.
It would hit on the deluxe arm pad. I just had mine off. I didn't have anything on it. I just had the open door panel,
Yeah.
but it would rub on the thing. But that factory Ford stuff, I mean, that was like that body style Fairlane stuff had those.
Yeah, I didn't know a small block came with the tri-power. This was a car that came up on Craigslist, John and Lee. It was a Mustang. They said it was a Shelby. It had Shelby taillights, and he had the Shelby vents, and the interior was this oddball, this nice two-tone interior.
Yeah, that's the same color mine is, blue and white.
Really nice.
Yeah, that's blue and white, and that's actually the dark metallic blue. That's the same color as my car was.
Right.
And those lights that he had were 68. I put 65 Thunderbird lights in mine.
Okay.
It's very similar as the pattern, but the 68s, the bezel was a little different.
The thing
I
that caught
have,
my attention was
Thunderbird
the
lights.
car had a Ford small block in it with 3 2-barrels, and I knew that came on the 427 side oilers, but I didn't know it came on any of the small blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that time, but there was something else. That car originally, because he had a lot of 67 stuff on it, like the grill
Yeah.
was, he had a little bit of a mix of stuff. It wasn't,
Yeah.
but I'd love to put side windows in mine, maybe. I don't know, but
They look good. I like them.
yeah. But I have the Thunderbird lights were the problem is the reason why he did the 68 or the Shelby ones is because the back gas panel door or the back panel is made with the buckets. So I had to custom made my buckets to fit. So it's easier to use the 67, 68 Shelby rear panel. You just got to trim it. You got to cut it down because it's not as wide.
And do those lights go clink, clink, clink?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I have the old windshield wiper motor one or the dynamite stick. So when you turn mine on, you hear it go and it goes click, 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 click,
Really?
click, 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 click. Yeah, it's like a windshield washer. It's like a wiper motor, windshield wiper motor. And then they had a recall, and it was like sometime in the 69, 70, they went to a relay pack.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had another then it was like 89. To replace those, they had a diode set type, I think. Because I've actually got all 3 setups.
Oh, okay.
I can't, it's hard to find the old windshield wiper motor because they set down in the wheel well.
Yeah.
Down in the corner, and of course, if it was clogged, they'd fill it with water, and then that whole thing would get all
drowned to death.
Yeah, but it's funny when you find an old Thunderbird, and I always tell them turn your lights on because you can hear the motor turning in wheel well. You hear and like click, 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 click.
I never heard that. Yeah.
It's the funny thing. It's the little things that make us happy, right?
I guess. Yeah.
I said, man, I love that sound.
Technology. It's like that. What was that big old Ford that had that articulated roof?
Yeah, the Sunliner.
The Sunliner,
yeah, and that was all hydraulics.
Even the Lincoln.
And proximity switches.
Yeah.
That was all hydraulic lines and cable. I mean, that was a mess.
Unbelievable. I saw a video of a guy rebuilding that.
There were a couple car shows where they did that.
Yeah, and showing what they did, and the way that each piston would click off a mechanical switch, which would set off the next one. And I'm like,
it's like
God, the engineer's head had to explode on that one.
Crazy. When they came back out with the 911 convertible, the old convertible was real easy because you just turn the knob and hit a button, and it had a electric motor, a cable that would pull the top back.
Right.
No. When they came back with the new one, they had to have all three. They had a hydraulic, they had cables, and they had micro switches and a manual thing. And man, it was like, why couldn't you just do one?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then you get a guy, he would want to put his top down, and it wouldn't work. So they would just reach into the motor with the wrench and undo the gear synchronizers.
Right.
So the gears would fall down into the bottom of the transmission or the motor, and then you could just move the top by hand.
Yeah.
And they would call and say, "Oh, my top's not working." Okay, just bring it in, dude. Don't touch it. Just bring it in. We can get it fixed. So then about like 4 hours later, the guy would come in with the top down, and you'd say, "Oh, you got it fixed?" "Oh no, I just read the manual." The one time they read the manual,
Yeah.
"Oh, I just undid the little thing. It made a loud noise, but my top is manual now." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, dude, it's like 9 hours of setting this thing up now, because every hydraulic line, everything has to be measured out now. Thanks,
Yeah.
the good old days."
Wow.
I can't believe this thing's still running.
I know.
He didn't start 10 minutes late.
No, he didn't.
No, because I had the system idling, and he sent me an invitation, and then I'm like, "Oh, I got to go in the garage."
Yeah.
So it took me a couple minutes to come out here and plug in.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh,
I don't know,
maybe
maybe
it took the time limit off.
Lewis might get one hell of a bill.
Yeah, right. And he won't be able to buy a toolbox.
I know, poor guy.
Poor guy.
Yeah, we'll send. We'll all chip in.
We'll send him something.
We'll
Yeah,
send
he
them all.
deserves
I ribbed him on text.
Well, we'll send them all our Harbor Freight coupons and let them get a U.S. General.
That's a good idea, Ray.
Great idea. Yeah.
Those things don't look bad.
Oh, the Icon is really a nice looking box. The Generals are, the kid at I've seen some of the Generals, the tool carts. They're not bad looking.
No. No. Yeah, it's funny.
It's pretty wild.
It's all right. Oh well.
Amazing.
All right, guys. I got a stud gun to rebuild.
All right.
See ya.
I'm headed out
guys.
too.
Have fun.
Catch you next week. Talk to you during the week.
You got it.
Take care. Be safe.
See you later.
See you later.
Hi. You have a picture of what you were thinking about?
Yeah, but I didn't have to buy the paint.
Show me what it looks like.
It's chocolate. He wants to see the dresser. That's what he's asking to see.